Hey guys, Esdee here. I know it's been a while since my last video, and I completely blame that on being so wrapped up in attempting to. God, my window is dirty. Attempting to get the process going for the new household. I know I've talked about the house. We're getting close. We're like a couple weeks out from moving day. And I am only half done with running the cables. So basically, for those of you who've never run cables before, it's not just a matter of, like I put it in this room and then I walk over to the other room and I, pull it through that room. In this case, some places you have to go through the ceiling, some places you have to go through the basement. In our case, there isn't a basement, there is an underneath of the house. So I've been having to go underneath the house. Unfortunately, because of the way this house was built, it like started out as one house and then there were two additions built on from different portions. Because of that, the underside, yeah, the beneath of the house is kind of broken up into multiple sections, and there's multiple entryways that you have to go to get through from one point to the other. And there's a lot of ducts. I mean, like big fat, those big silver ducts that you see. Those are everywhere underneath there. So it's definitely it's a maze. It's definitely a maze that I'm having to crawl through to get there. As an example, there are 3 different entryways, and the first time I went to try to go under there to the network's going to start out in my bedroom closet, and then it's going to sprout out to the rest of the house. So we punched a hole through the back of my closet wall to be able to put the cables through there, and then from there I'm going to run them out. The first time I went out there, I started to go under the house with all the cables all ready, wrapped up and ready to go. I couldn't find my room where the hole was punched, and it was getting late, and I didn't want to be under there for that much longer. I wasn't properly attired really, so I just left the cables and I went. I came back later. The second time I came back, I had one of those full body like painter suits, the overalls that zip up, and they got the elastic on the wrists and the ankles, and they even had a little hood that came up with the elastic around here. So yeah, that covered everything. And then I had goggles, those big plastic clear goggles. I had those on, and I had a headlamp. The first time I had come, I had a headlamp. Turned out only to shine in red, and let me tell you, red underneath a house is not a color you want to be seeing a whole lot of. Plus, it didn't shine that bright, so it didn't really help. This time, the second time I came back, I had a nice, bright, brand new headlamp that I got from Walmart. And I had, the goggles and the suit and everything else, and I was ready to go. I grabbed my bundle of cables. I started out in the, as it was explained to me, the entryway that I needed, which unfortunately you go in, you come around, and then you hook all the way across the front of the house to get to where my room's at. So it's like big, long L-shaped length to get there. And there's multiple ducts you have to like duck under and crawl over, and it was an experience. So there I am. I had gotten out there, and my uncle, who's also been working on the house, was not there at the time. But I wanted to go ahead and get this done before it started raining, because who knows what kind of water would get up under the house if it rained, or creatures that would come in out of the rain or whatever. So I'm under there, and I'm alone. I do have my phones on me. I was that smart. I had my phones in my pocket inside the overalls. When I was getting ready to get down under, I crouched, and as soon as I crouched to climb in through the opening to get under the house, split the crotch of my overalls. Yeah, just right open. So it's like, all right, nice, tight little areas on my wrists. Oh, and I was wearing gloves, definitely wearing gloves. Closed on my wrists, closed on my ankles. Things can't crawl into my wrists or my ankles, but they can crawl in at the crotch, which is probably the last place you want anything to be crawling. So I'm going through the underneath of the house, on my hands and knees. Don't have knee pads. I really wanted knee pads because, man, it's rough under there. There's like asphalt and broken stuff, and yeah, it's just not fun. So I'm crawling around under there. Get about halfway through it, my goggles start fogging up. Now, when goggles fog up, if you've never really experienced much with goggles, they fog from the inside. So it's not like I can just wipe them off like this. So I sigh, and I take the goggles off. And, loop them over my wrist so I can keep them with me. Because as soon as I get to wherever I'm going to want to put them back on. That way stuff doesn't get in my eyes. start moving it. Apparently, when I put the headlamp on, I had it too tight. So now it's starting to do this thing where it's just closing in and tightening and squeezing and sliding up like this. Pop right off. Yeah. So the headlamp pops off and falls to the side. I have to stop and get it and pull it back up. And of course, as I'm pulling it on, I'm thinking this is the moment in all those horror movies when the main character or, main victim or whatever pulls on or pulls up the light, shines it in front of them, and then the big scary thing is right there. So I'm sitting there like, son of a bitch. There better not be anything in front of me. Better not be anything in front of me. Okay, good. We're good. This happened 3 times. 3 times before I get back to where my room is at. Headlamp pops off. Have to deal with that every single time because there's no one upstairs. There's no one around who can hear me if I scream for help. So finally I make it to where my room is and, shove the end of the cables through, make sure they're in, make sure they're good and in because I don't want those suckers falling out before I can get back up to my room and pull them through some more. And then as I turn around, I'm, on my hands and knees like this, and I kind of just flip over and I glance down. That little crotch split is now all the way to my ankles. Just, flapping in the breeze. Yeah. You can see my pants. My pants are getting dirty, which, really sucked. So I'm like, okay, I was going to try laying out the rest of the cable. Screw it. I'm just getting out at this point because, my pants are getting filthy and things can crawl in here and I'm getting out of here. So I crawled out from under the house and got out and we're done. However, today I have to go back and finish laying it out. Right after I have lunch with my coworkers. But, so I thought I'd give you guys a quick update. I'll try to do a, example video or a tour video or something of the house as it looks right now. Or maybe I'll do a video underneath the house, as me, hi, yeah, I'm crazy enough to run around under the house like this. It's getting hot in my car. I'm sweating balls. It's practically summer in South Carolina. It's, middle of May, and I'm roasting to death. So I'm going to go. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, tell your friends about it if you were entertained. And I'll see you guys next time. So until then, Esdee out. Bye. God, it's so hot.